Okay, bus bench babes, is your year maybe not starting out quite as gloriously as you had hoped that it would in 2025? I feel you. That's how I'm feeling in some areas of life. And I think Christy might be too. We're diving into all the things here today, the things that are working and the things that aren't. And so maybe you will be able to relate to this. This is a great time of the year to push that pause button, get realigned with what your goals are for the year, and to check in with yourself and get things back on track before things totally go off the rails. Jump into this conversation with us, and I hope that you will leave inspired. Let's dive in.
You're listening to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast, where we invite you to check your ego at the app, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to dive into all things real estate marketing, social media, friendship, hardship, love, money mindset, and all the things that celebrate you as a badass boss babe.
We're here to encourage you, show up for you, give you a loving kick in the pants when you need it most, and be your soft place to land on the hardest of days. So pull up a seat at our table and get ready to be inspired and start living your best life by design.
Welcome to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast. We are so excited you're here.
Okay, girls, let's dive in. Hey, friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's always weird when we're not doing this in person, but thankfully we have like a screen so we can see each other when we're doing this.
We do have a
Recording
screen.
episodes.
And some episodes we try to batch record, but some episodes are just, you need to collect more information before they can go out, right? So we have to record closer to the air date. It's just the way
We
it
have
is.
to live additional life in order to be able to have stuff to talk about.
Right? Yeah, it's good to see you. It's so nice. The sun is shining. It's going to be 60 degrees today. I mean, I'm here for this.
Yeah, me too.
Bess already had a closing today. Like, we're good. It's a good day.
Things are humming.
Things are humming. So today we are going to chat all about what, Beth? 3 things that are working for us and 3 things that aren't. So, we sort of dove into our notes, and sort of every year we pull like our analytics, and like we see like what shows are really resonating and where we're getting like a lot of feedback, questions, and that from our listeners. And our goal check-in shows are some of our most downloaded. So we do our New Year's goals and intention setting episode. And then we do our check-in episode halfway through the year, which is actually even more downloaded. And so we thought, let's do like quarterly check-ins to see where we're at, talk about 3 things that are working, 3 things that maybe need a little work or a lot of work. I'm speaking for myself here. And then like, hopefully you can find inspiration. You can see yourself in this, and it really resonates with you, because if you wait too long, things can just go off the rails, business, personal, life. And then you're like, it's September and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
Now
It happens quickly. I feel like it's a super slippery slope where if you're not paying attention to it, all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, we're like not a little off the rails. We're like both wheels off the rails.
Exactly. And then, if you're in a cold weather state, summer hits, and then, so you have this, like the seasonality of how things shift is more, I think, apparent.
Yeah.
And so you get that, the summer checkout, and then the fall panic, and then the holidays. So like, we're checking in here to sort of see where we're at. And yeah, we hope you find this inspiring.
So, do you want to start? What's one thing?
Okay.
Are we starting with a negative and ending with a positive, or how would you like to tackle this, friend?
Oh, great question. Should we spend like 10 minutes maybe talking about this? I'm just kidding. Because that's what I would like. What makes the most sense? Let me dive into this, Beth. I don't know. Let's start with what's working. Positive. Let's go positive. What's working? Okay. So you share your first thing, Beth. What is one of the things of the 3 that are working for you in Q1?
So I feel like, and these are all really personal things. These don't really have anything to do with business, but for sure they trickle into my business life. I have been really diligent the last, I would say month, not full quarter, but a solid month. I've been doing in the morning my red light therapy, my mask that Mark said looks like one of those Mexican wrestling masks. And I'm doing that combined with a morning meditation. And it's like this 10 minutes of me time where I just lay on my chaise or lay on my couch and just zone out. And It feels like a really great way to start my day.
So, can Carrie sent you this meditation, right? Is that the one?
Yes.
And
Yes.
she sent it to me. I haven't started it yet, but I'm just gonna say there's some magic in this. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like you should shoot us a DM or an email, and Beth can send you this meditation. Beth, I'm kind of putting you on a limb
Yeah,
here, but
totally. It's so
because I
good.
don't know what it is, but our year is going well. It's going well. So
Yeah.
whatever you're doing, keep doing. Your
Oh, I
light.
know. That's why at this point I'm like, I don't want to jinx it. I'm like, it
No.
feels like I don't know. It feels like some sort of hippy dippy voodoo witchcraft. So I'm like, we're just going with it.
I mean, you're already like you're helping your skin look amazing, and then you get to listen to some good stuff. So
Yeah.
cool.
How about
I love it.
yeah, it's going great. How about you?
Okay, so my first thing that I implemented, so this kind of goes more back to mid-September-ish. But then like Kaya was in the hospital. We took a vacation. Kaya was in the hospital on the holiday. So there was like this weird extended
Hmm.
where it wasn't like super on point, but really back since September. I've been doing regular exercise and moving my body has become a complete non negotiable. For instance, I'm showing up to this podcast. I am so sweaty. I just completed my workout like 7 minutes before I hopped on here. Is it ideal? No. Was it how I planned for it to go? No, but I had to do some other stuff this morning in place of that. So I was like, well, shit, it's happening. So I definitely, it's become a non negotiable. And I like always would like before, if you had to do it midday or you had to, whenever this random time you were going to do it
Hmm.
like a Sunday afternoon because it's when it fit in, you like, I would lose that momentum, right? That like, I want to do this. And now it's like, I just do it. It's literally like second nature and it's a non negotiable and it just is in my day. So I view it as a non negotiable, like eating, like feeding Kaya. It is just
Hmm.
literally part of it. So that is something that's been a really huge shift for me, and I love it. Everything that is
Hmm.
actually more of, like, inner shifts for me than anything. So that's become a non-negotiable. I definitely show up more sweaty, more of a mess, more times than I used to before, for instance, this podcast recording, but I've just I'm taking care of myself and that's just the way it is. So if I'm showing up to drop off or pick up for Kaya or like a podcast recording and that's the only time,
You're like,
sorry not hashtag sorry not sorry because I'm
no,
getting it in. So
I don't even think you have to apologize for that. I
yeah.
feel like, well, like when you jumped on, I figured you had just got done working out because your cheeks
Oh,
were flushed.
yeah, and I'm like the hair sweat, like I'm like, I'll put it in a pony.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean it wasn't a
perfect.
pony, but yeah, so that's definitely something that I have kept with me this far. Okay,
That's
Beth,
really good.
what is thank you. What is your number two?
My number
Drum roll,
2
please.
is not super exciting, but I feel like it's really consistent. Water intake and vitamins. I've been
Oh,
really good about taking my vitamins and my water intake. Well, okay, a caveat. My capsule formulated vitamins. One of the things that's on my list that's not going so great, you'll hear about in a bit, which is a secondary part of that. But like every
okay.
night, I'll take vitamins and drink all my water that I'm supposed to during the day, and it's so hard because I'm supposed to be doing a Dutch test, which is like a hormone testing thing where you pee like 5 different very specific times and blah blah blah, but you can only have 40 ounces of water. That's one Stanley. How, I mean, I drink like 3 of these a day at a
Yeah.
minimum, so I'm like, oh hell, this is not great.
So how long do you have to do your little like break from your
Well, so I
thing?
haven't done the freaking test yet because every day I'm like, ah, crap, I drank too much water. Oh, you're not supposed to have any alcohol. Or I'm like, ah, crap, I had a glass of wine. So now I'm like, I need to really hone in the lack of water for one day just so I can get that test done and sent back in because I know it will affect all these things we're talking about today.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, water though, like you feel so much better when you're just doing regular stuff like that. It's the
Yeah.
little stuff. It
Yeah.
really is.
I'll drink like a little bit of decaf coffee. I don't drink regular caffeine anymore. But even sparkling water has sort of lost its luster for me. I'll maybe have, I don't know, 2 a week. I used to drink 5 a day after I got off Diet Coke, like that. Then that was like my replacement. And now it's like, I just want regular water, but I want a lot of regular water.
Yeah. Our regular, do you remember, Beth, our midnight Diet Coke? meet in
Yeah,
the
when
kitchen,
we
have a
first
Diet
met.
Coke.
And,
Or
like,
just
I could
your
drink a Diet Coke 1 second before I laid my head on my pillow and still fall
yeah,
asleep. Now I
yeah.
have, like, 1 millimeter of caffeine, and I'm like, "Who gave me caffeine?" And it
So
makes me
I'm
nuts.
no like diss to Caribou, but Beth's got to stop going to Caribou because she keeps getting dosed with caffeine there. They keep giving her caffeine.
The only other thing I can think of, but I don't it hasn't happened before, is that I think they're accidentally giving me caffeine when I'm ordering a decaf, even though I'm like, make sure it's a decaf, please. Um, is that maybe their decaf is just stronger than Starbucks decaf
It might be.
espresso beans? But I feel like if that's the case, then all of a sudden I've gotten extra hypersensitive to caffeine
Mm.
because I've been drinking Caribou decafs for a long time. But yeah, like it makes me feel like I'm like crawling out of my skin. It makes me feel like I'm having a panic attack, even with little dose of caffeine.
Oh, and also can make you more thirsty. Just saying.
Yeah, which also is not helping me get my damn hormone
No.
testing done.
Oh.
What about you? What's number 2?
Okay, number two is goodness. If I had to say my favorite, this is a really big one. So, it's a little clunky, but so I'm just going to explain it. So, regular check ins with my inner voice. So, this is like something pretty woo, but I've been working on this for a really long time. And it's working like really hard on rewiring like these pathways in my brain and the language that I use, even like more subconsciously or just like occurring.
Mhm.
And so that has been such a huge shift for me. And I've been doing this for like a super long time, like since I had Kai or maybe before, but like we've had this conversation
Mhm.
before of like how and had it with Carrie too, like the language use around your daughter, right? Like is so important. So
Mhm.
that like really stops me in my tracks. But the language that's occurring in my head, right? Aside from that, I have really been working on quieting or shifting or just like meeting it where it's at and then reminding it it's not that. So I'm going to give you a couple examples so it makes a little more sense. So like I I've been removing, this is a huge one. I'm removing the should. So like I should be able to do something because someone else can do it. So for instance, like when it comes to, again, this is going to sound really physical, but it's so much more than just like the physical, the outward aspect of it. Like when it comes to like what I've been doing like with my body, like with exercise and with moving my body and like how I nourish it, if you Google it, it should tell me I'm losing a significant amount of weight, right?
Mhm.
And I should be like how this person is. And like, and then if you go on social media, it's like, well, this person's doing this and they lose like 10 pounds, that kind of thing. And so really, really shifting that of like, I should be able to do that. My body should be able to do that to um, this is like who I am. This is how my body works and like having gratitude for that. And so I actually, this is gonna sound insane. I like thank my body after I do something hard. So when I do something hard and I feel like really strong, I'm like, thank you so much. Like I thank it. Like, thank you for helping me get through that. And I say this at least in my head, sometimes out loud, probably more out loud than I don't, which is kind of funny. Um, I like, for instance, if I'm, and this is just exercise related, I'm not only talking about exercise, but like exercise related, I'm on like Peloton ride. Robin Arzen's for sure my favorite. I also like that Cody guy. He's hilarious. Um, but she'll be like, yes, you can. And I have trained myself to say, yes, you fucking can every time she
Mhm.
says, yes, you can, which is like, sounds a little nutty, but when you're on a Tabata ride and you actually want to die, you actually think you could fall off and die, and you can like barely get these words out. I'm in that like hard space and I'm telling myself, yeah. So like that in that space, but also like I go to Costco and I'm lifting like a crazy heavy like thing of all our groceries and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Oh, my like joints feel better
Mhm.
because my have so much more like muscle like around them and that kind of thing." And I'm like, "Thank you. Like my body, I'm so strong." Like, I'll like say these things out loud
Mhm.
and talk about it. So that has super helped. So really vocalizing things, like I share things with Ryan, like I'll actually just openly talk about them. I'll Carrie on the team has been super helpful. So like I actually talked to Carrie right before we recorded this. I'm like, hey Carrie, can I just like share a little bit about how who you surround yourself with really, really matters in like this particular situation. She's like, absolutely. So like Carrie's been on a journey of like health and just like overall wellness for probably close to a year, right, Beth?
Hmm.
Ish, maybe.
Yeah.
And so, but like, so it was such a good like example of like consistency and just such a good example of someone who shows up unapologetically and like she's measuring, and I'm not saying this in a negative way at all. She's measuring her food because that's what works for her. And
Hmm.
she's outwardly like we're seeing her do this. She's not like, even if she's worried about judgment, she's not stopping
Yeah,
what
she
she's
doesn't
doing.
care.
So she's like, fuck this. I have my scale. I have my she has a travel scale, which I'm like, you just took this to the next level, Carrie. This is
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
And I'm not doing what she's doing. So like, but I'm just sharing this example of seeing someone do that consistently and showing up and being like, I don't basically, she doesn't
Hmm.
say this, but I don't give two fucks. This is what I'm doing. I'm
Hmm.
taking care of myself is so motivating. And so just like, oh my gosh. And like for her to just be so open about it is like, it sort of like gives the permission and the space where like I feel for the last several years, especially like there's in how I grew up and like that whole dynamic has been so much negative talk anytime I've tried to make like a shift into like a healthier space. So
Hmm.
just the more I surround myself with like that kind of energy, that kind of
Yeah.
person, Ryan, who is also a really good person to chat with, the more I see this voice in my head changing, like actually changing where I hear it less. And that has been just like so, just such probably one of the biggest things for me. This, I would say, over the last couple years of my life, as far as like shifts. And I'm also realizing uh to protecting that space of like, I haven't really talked about what I'm doing with really anyone. I've shared it with Carrie and Ryan, obviously, but
Hmm.
I don't really talk about it because I also don't want to hear like the negative chatter on the other side because I've spent so much of my life hearing that. And
Hmm.
not that I don't want to hold space for someone else, but when I'm in this like healing process, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear like that sort of stuff. So I'm being really careful with like who I'm sharing that with and how I'm showing up. So just to really, really, I don't want to say fix, but like make that different, make that better, make it
Hmm.
easier on myself. And it's working. It's working really well. So
Yeah.
vocalizing.
Carrie would say she's like healing her relationship with food. And
Hmm.
she's really done that so beautifully. And she is super inspiring. I'm like, man, I should be eating better.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
and not like so it's just to like see that consistency. You know, I had open conversations with my doctor and like which was also really helpful. Like maybe in the past would have just been like feeling like I wasn't doing enough or something. And it's such a healthy, good conversation and just
Hmm.
opening these doors into places that are healthy so that conversation can happen with a healthy reciprocate and they can like
Hmm.
reciprocate healthy information and then it can feel really good and then, not that I don't want to be supportive or have those conversations with anyone else, but
Hmm.
I'm really protecting that space and that peace because I need to do that to continue on with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's my number two and a very long,
I love that. It's
long
awesome.
about. Thank you.
My number three is mantras. I feel
Woohoo.
like I think I talked about this on the podcast before, but I went to a networking event it was last fall, and I did not want to go. And I had paid for it, and it was kind of like an expensive networking thing. And I'm like, it wasn't necessarily about the money, but I'm like, once I say that I'm going to do something, I do it, kind of whether I want to or not type thing. And I was like, oh man, I'd just rather sit in my pajamas. But I'm driving to this event, which was like an hour away in rush hour traffic. And I was like, okay, I can show up. I looked really cute, but I'm like, I could show up and really sort of bring like a shitty vibe to the space because I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, I'm not going to do that because that's just not how I roll. So I mantraed the entire way there in out loud in my car. And I'm like, what did I say? I am alive, excited, and full of energy, and people are attracted to my vibe. And I said that probably 400 times on the drive. And I got to the event, and I like when I was walking in the door, I'm like, I actually feel good now. Like, totally different than how I felt when I pulled out of my driveway. And no kidding, I had at least three people walk up to me and they go, "Oh my God, I'm so attracted to your vibe." And I'm like, what?
I
Like,
love it.
it worked. And then when I batch social media, like the day that I'm going to do it, because I'm always doing it at the 11th hour. Maybe I should mantra around that. I'm always like, I am creative and the words flow out of me. And then when I was listening to my morning meditation, like I've been listening to it, like I said, for like a month every single day. And yesterday was the day I was going to work on my social media. There was a line in there that said, I'm an abundant creator. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I've never heard that in there before. And it's been in
It's
there all
talking to
along,
you.
but I never heard it. So then I was like, yesterday, I'm like, I'm an abundant creator. I said that several times and I'm like, hell yeah, I am. And so then when I did my social media, I had one area that I was like, this is like, it was hard, but the rest of it flowed really, really easily. And I was like,
Mm.
yeah. But I honestly believe that like your mind can influence you so easily, good, bad, or otherwise.
Oh,
And
so true.
so if you just sit and stew in negativity, I think you're just going to put out negativity all the time. But like if you don't even, I mean, obviously it's not realistic to not be negative once in a while. Like I go through my moments. I'm not, you know, not
You're
superwoman for
human
crying out loud. Yes, I'm human in that regard.
and not
Um,
delusional.
yeah, but then like I feel like more often than not, just like saying mantras and just being really mindful about positivity makes such a humongous difference. And
Mhm.
it's affecting my business in a good way. It's affecting like my overall health and well-being in a good way. Um, so yeah, I'm just mantras. It sounds so cheesy, but I
It
swear to God,
doesn't.
they work.
It doesn't. I mean, I don't think it sounds cheesy. And you know how many times like you're told like come from gratitude and no,
Yeah.
actually, like really, and it seems so like I mean, my business coach has told me like so many times like, and I don't like journaling, which I think I've shared on this podcast many times,
Yeah.
but um the coming from like journal gratitude, like speak it, like live it. And it's
Hmm.
so true because it puts you in such a different headspace. I
Yeah.
mean, oh my gosh. And how you show up is how others then reciprocate how they show up. And
Yeah. It's major.
it is major.
It's
I love it.
working. How
All
about you?
right.
What's your number three?
What's my number three? I don't know that. I made notes.
Crinkle,
Ah,
crinkle, crinkle.
okay, so mine are like totally all, like I said, physical, but it's all like mind stuff, which is why I thought it was so appropriate. So, um, I have shifted, and this again probably started more like September-ish, but like if we're talking Q1 for sure, like hardcore Q1, like my approach to food has really shifted from how it'll make me feel and how it'll fuel me. And I have tried this many, many, many
Hmm.
times in life, many times. And it feels so different this time around. So, and I think it has a lot to do with like quieting in my head, like that voice
Hmm.
so much and like who I'm surrounding myself with and all the other stuff I've talked about. Um, but that noise with the food noise, like you talked about, like Carrie, like healing with food and like that food noise is mostly diminished, which I could cry about. I mean, I didn't even think
That's
this was
huge.
emotional. Is mostly like and you I mean you can relate. I know you can relate so
Yeah.
much on this level and where all that comes from and everything. It's so deep and I'm not going to get into that here. That's not the purpose of this. But like to have that be so quiet and then when it comes up, I talk about it. So like I will be like, "Hey Ryan, this just happened." And he'll be like, "Oh, interesting," because he doesn't have that. He doesn't
Hmm.
have that, as far as that goes, and so, like, I'll have a quick conversation because I'm like, I'm not just gonna, like, push this away because I've tried that before, so
Hmm.
do I need to, like, bring it out and be like, "I
Call it
just
out.
thought" yeah,
Yeah.
call it out, exactly, like, "I just thought you were gonna judge me for eating this. Like, that's really silly." And
Hmm.
he'll be like, "Wow," and then we have just a couple-minute conversation about it, and
Hmm.
then it gets to just go away. And so that part of it is like so huge.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, that noise is so much quieter and I'm not looking like really just like I'm not looking for perfection. I'm really looking for and I'm not looking for balance. I'm looking for that harmony piece of like all of it. It's really just paying attention to how my body feels, not only my body but my mind when I'm anything that I'm consuming. So like this whole like forever game is like what I'm in, not the short term, not the quick thing, and adjusting that too. And that really goes back to like I should be able to lose 8 to 10 pounds a month, whatever that is. Like, I know because
Hmm.
as women, we're told whatever, right? And it's just not my actual reality, and I feel mostly okay with that, Beth. Like I feel
That's huge.
yeah, so like that part of it is really good too. Like I'm not losing the whatever pounds or whatever to go on this trip or like for this event or
Mhm.
whatever to get in, you know how that works, right?
Mhm.
So I can wear the tank top in the summer, whatever that is.
Yeah,
It's just I'm in this, so how I feel. So like my approach to food, it's like really all that dialogue has helped so much in my head. Yeah.
that's
That's my
awesome.
third thing. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. And it's like it's honestly weird. I never would have thought this was even possible. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
I love that.
Thank you.
It's so funny because then that leads into my top one that's not working in my life is that I am absolutely like sugar crazed right now.
Mm,
So, and I've been doing research and I think it's one of the reasons that tells me like my cortisol levels are totally fucked. Um, so I'm very excited. That's why I need to get that finish getting that P test done because I did a poop analysis and I did a hair analysis. Carrie's like, "Do one of your extensions come out?" Because there was big clumps of hair in the garbage because of my long hair, but you only needed like the hair close to your scalp. So it's so funny. And so the rest of the hair I just like threw away, but you needed to get 4 samples from different spots on your head. So she's like, "Oh my God, why is there so much hair in the garbage?" I'm like, I don't know. I did it myself. I shouldn't have probably cut that much off. I'm like, whatever. Um, but like I cannot stay away from the sugar. It's like the exact opposite you're having. I'm like the idea of nutritious food almost makes me want to barf, but sugar is not satisfying. It just makes you want more sugar. And so I'm very excited to do some work with a hormone specialist to like figure out like what how can we like right this ship because I don't feel great.
that's hard. That's
Yeah.
super hard. I think
Yeah.
that beginning, like once you like come off of it, is super, super hard too. And then you do, they're like, for me at least, my experience is like see, you don't feel anything different for quite a while. It's
Mhm.
that like long haul, and then you finally feel it. And that's super, super hard to be in that place of like, it's not quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think
Whew.
that's how it's been in the reverse too, whereas like, oh, I was eating sugar and it was like, oh, no big deal. And now all of a sudden I'm like, I just don't feel good.
Mhm.
Ugh. And we have all these Girl Scout cookies here in the house that are supposed to be going to clients. I'm like, I need to get them out to Popeyes because I can't look at them anymore. But like even today, just thinking about it, it makes my stomach feel kind of like queasy. So I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, it's weird because I'm like, I feel like I was on a pretty healthy stretch there for a hot second, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like it feels like a never ending teeter totter.
Mm. I feel you. I feel you on that.
I'm like, fuck. I'm like, menopause is no joke.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh.
my number one. That's my most dramatic one. What is
All right,
your
my number one is my morning routine is just kind of a shit show. It's not really, it's like it's in an in between. It was a shit show. So I'm in a season of kind of like it's like a season of unknown of what my morning's gonna look like. And I'm slowly implementing change. We've talked about this before, Beth, I think just last
Mhm.
time I saw you, but maybe. And it's just, and then daylight savings came.
Oh god, it kicked our ass over here. We
I
don't
know
even
it like
have kids and it kicked our ass.
I mean, and I like it because I like that Kaya stays up
Me
late. It's
too.
just this whole like thing, and so it's just I really I through like really paying attention to how I'm feeling and like energy levels and stuff. I'm realizing it's like affecting my that central nervous system,
Mhm.
with that rush. So I'm working on that. I don't actually know what I'm going to do. I'm slowly implementing things and trying to like tweak stuff and see what works. So that's my morning. My mornings are a little not quite how I want them.
Mhm.
All
I
right,
get that.
what's next for you?
Workouts and walking. Mine. I honestly feel like are the exact opposite of what yours are. Yours are like my workouts are great. My workouts are not as consistent as I want them to be. And I was like, oh, I'm going to start walking outside because it's so nice out.
So
And the
nice.
days that I've done it, I've felt incredible. Um, but I feel like early mornings. Look, I'm in my office when it's dark And so then I'm like, I don't have time to go to the like. Then do I have to get up at what 3 in the morning to go to the gym? I'm like 5 is already early to go to the gym. So I don't know. Mark and I were talking about it. We had an hour-long drive home the other day from a family wedding, and we have a Peloton. We just don't ride it. And so he's like, I was thinking about that. He's like, can you get me all set up? And I'm like, you already have an account. And I set it up for you. But neither of us, he's never ridden it. And I have not ridden it in forever. But like, it's just sitting there and it's so nice. You don't even have to brush your teeth. You just walk down the hall and get on it. So
Oh
I'm like
yeah.
trying to uh, slowly talk myself into the idea of like getting on the Peloton, going for a walk in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm totally out of the mode. And so then what, 21 days to create a new habit? I'm like, fuck. It's gonna be the
It's
end of
that
April.
long, yeah, it's that long game to where it starts to
Yeah.
actually feel, uh, like it's
Yeah.
good, like good-ish, I'd
Yeah.
say. It
Yeah.
doesn't even feel like good. It just feels okay, maybe something's working here, but it takes quite a long time.
I know. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm like out of that habit. But then when, Alyssa and I meet at the gym in the morning, it feels great and it's fun, like girl time to catch up. But yeah, our workouts have been very haphazard and it's noticeable. But then I feel like it's going hand in hand with eating too much sugar and not working out. It just feels like they're like best friends right now, those two bad
Yeah.
habits.
It's hard. It's hard. And then they just like marry and then they're like, this is
Yep.
what we're gonna tell you to do. And then that whole
Yep.
brain gut connection. Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hot mess. Yeah. So how
All
about
right.
you?
Number three. Um, I have really been struggling with the balance of upkeep for my house and being the mom and human being that I want to be. Um, I'm working on it. It's not what I want. It's not where I want to be. I like give in one area and I feel like this is like an ongoing thing, but I
Mhm.
kind of feel like I had it under control. And then I feel like when Kaya started kindergarten, there was more time. And I think I told myself this story that there would be more time for these other things. And it's not shaken out like that. So it's really a struggle. And I'm trying to find a little more peace in my home without the sacrifice of my family.
Yeah, that's
So
a
I
tough
don't
one.
know. Yeah. And I don't have any answers there, but I'm working on it. So Q2.
You're
I'm
like,
gonna,
stay
I'm gonna
tuned.
figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. God.
That's a
I do
big
have
one.
I have a clean kitchen right now, which is magical. But
Clean kitchens, I don't
oh
know
my
why,
god.
but like, uh, well, no, I do know why our kitchen's staying clean because I'm not cooking healthy meals because we're just eating Girl Scout cookies for all our meals around here. But like our kitchen is like legit clean, and I'm like, it makes me so happy.
Oh my
I
gosh. Like
love no dishes in the sink. It's glorious.
cuz we cook at home so much and meal
Yeah,
prep and like and have been for quite a while. There are so many
yeah,
freaking dishes.
it's the worst.
And also, though, Ryan and I both have had to like shift our minds with this because it's like that is your time should be it needs to be spent doing this because that's how you nourish your body. And if you
Hmm.
think of how long it takes to go get food or whatever that ends up
Hmm.
being, we get to be here as it's no longer. It's all the
No,
same.
it's
It's just
not.
like that shift in like
Yeah,
how you view it and but oh my god, having a waking up on a Monday morning to a clean
yeah,
kitchen,
yes,
magical.
yeah. That's how I felt this morning when I woke up. I'm like, it's glorious, but not for the right reasons. Yeah, I think like when a couple weeks ago I food prepped some meals and was like pretty good about making dinners at home. And instead of just putting the dishes in the sink and being like, "Oh, I'll get to it later," I did all the dishes before I left the kitchen to go like watch TV or do whatever I was going to do after that. And I felt so much more accomplished. It's kind of like how
Mhm.
I feel after I make my bed and then
Yeah.
that next night when I'm going to bed, I'm like, "Ah, I love getting into like a tidy, clean bed."
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I
My
love it.
bedroom's also clean right now. My bedroom and my kitchen. It is like
It's amazing.
I'm
Feels
winning. It's
good.
just yeah, yeah,
I love
but it's
that.
not where I want it to be. Okay, Beth.
My last one is I have been a total slacker on my AG1. Like
Ah,
I I don't know what happened. I just got off of the track of it. And so then I had it a couple days in the last week, but like I hadn't touched it in forever. I put my account on hold because I have so much back stock. And I'm like, all right, this is ridiculous. But like it helps with everything, like all the stuff I'm complaining about with menopause, with like pooping and just like feeling better and having more energy. And then Carrie's holistic person said that she should like up her D and K drops. So I did that and I'm like, I don't know if it was helping, but in my mind it helped. So I'm like, I need to just, it's all these things that my body and I am worth, like working out, having less sugar, nourishing myself with healthy vitamins and stuff like that. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm in a phase where I'm just like rebelling against all of it.
You have like a rebellious streak in you too.
I do.
So like, are you
Yeah,
just kind of like, fuck it?
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But I'm
hard.
like, I just don't feel good. It's not like I got on the scale. The scale's the same, but like at some point, the scale's going to start creeping back up and then I'll regain the weight that I lost. So then that will really create some sort of crazy spiral. But I don't feel like proud of myself for the choices that I'm making, I guess is the moral of the story.
That's like so hard because then you get hard on yourself and it's
Yeah.
like you feel not good, which then makes you not want to do the thing. But until
Yeah.
you do the thing consistently, you don't feel better. And it's like
Right.
this whole thing. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah. It's so hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard work. And
Hmm.
yeah,
So I'm
I'm
like,
cheering you on.
yeah, when I was doing our homework for this conversation, I'm like, well, I mean, we're not sucking in all areas of life. We're only sucking in some of them. So I'm like, it can only get better from here, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe my mind is telling me that once I have some test results from the hormone testing, that will be like the thing that's like, okay, now get out of your own way and get back on track.
Get peeing. Get peeing in that
You
cup
know?
or whatever, however you do it.
You pee on these strips and then you let it dry. It's
Uh,
dry peed
like a
test. Pee
pregnancy
test.
test.
I don't know. I've never taken one.
Huh.
Um, yeah, it's called the Dutch test.
All
So
right.
I'm excited. Excited to
Cool.
see what that says.
All right, so whew, that was a little long-winded, right? But hopefully this episode meets you where you're at. We're cheering you on whatever you're working on too. It's only the end of Q1, right? We're
Yes.
just beginning Q2. There's so much time to get back on track, whether it's personal, business, you know, marriage, like anything, like
Yeah.
moms, anything, whatever you're feeling like is missing the mark right now. You have so much time left. So slow implementation into consistency
And giving
is what I'm
yourself
telling
grace.
myself. Giving yourself grace. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, tell me all your morning routine tricks. Just kidding. Don't. Just kidding. Don't tell me them. I don't need any more morning routine tricks. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Beth. I'm cheering you on.
Thank you. You too. You're like
Thanks.
crushing it.
I feel like I'm crushing it. I'm crushing it. I'm sweaty. I'm ready for a shower though. So until next time, bus bench babes.
Keep your
Remember
face
to
off a bus bench.
and keep being the badass boss babes that you are.
Okay, girls, are you feeling as inspired as we are? We're over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast.
If you want more, head over to girlgetyourfaceoffabusbench.com for show notes and more episodes. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. They mean the world to us and they're what keep us going.
Girl, thanks for being here.